everyone, and welcome back to Jessie Lifestyle at Home. In today's video, we're working over in this little side garden area. This is right next to pretty much the main door to enter our home. It is our side kitchen door. This is the door that everyone uses, so this is what everyone sees when they come to my house, which is kind of embarrassing. We still have the red rocks over here. We just have our overfilled trash cans, looking a hot mess. We have no landscaping on this side of the sidewalk over here. I ordered this trash can hider from Amazon, I think, or Wayfair. I'm not quite sure. I will link whatever it is down in the description box below. This was the more affordable one. We wanted one that we could build. We didn't want to have to build something because I just wanted to hide the trash cans all the way around, because people go to the pool, people pull up to the house, and all they have seen is our trash cans, and we had no other place to put it that was like easily accessible except for right here on the main area next to the house. So I finally convinced my husband to get one of these. We are going to try to clear out as much of the red rocks as possible. At first we tried to lay the pavers down to see if we could just level it like that. That was not working out too well for us. So we are going to be scooping up these old red rocks, and we'll be reusing them in the driveway next to the big barn out back, the big shop, as I like to call it, the bigger garage. So we try to reuse as much as we can around here. We're not just getting rid of stone. We're going to be reusing it for the little drive parking pads we have over there. But we bought these pavers from Lowe's, and I realized how uneven it was, and the rocks weren't going to help. So take up all of these pavers, and we're going to scoop up all the rocks and get these as level as possible for the garbage can hider to hide on top of. And this was a hot day. It's been pretty hot. We worked our butts off. We tried to work in the less direct sunlight as we could, but honestly, sometimes you just got to get things done by drinking a lot of Gatorade and electrolytes and wearing hats and making sure to take plenty of breaks. But working together, we got it all done. This is the last area of our house that have these red rocks. We had these all around the landscaping in the pool, and we also had this around the big giant fountain that used to sit in front of our house way back when. So it's kind of nice to finally get rid of these rocks and put in some fresh, bright, lighter rocks. My oldest son and Malcolm were playing out by the pool while we were working, just so that we could have our undivided attention on what we were doing. So it's always nice when we have extra hands helping out with Malcolm. But yeah, this was tedious, trying to level everything and just make sure that it was, trying to do it the right way. This was really tedious to try to make sure it was all level and, doing the best we can. The proper way would be to dig all of the rocks out completely, but some of these were embedded in the ground, and, to put soil down and tamping and dirt and like all that stuff to put the papers down. We're not too worried about that. We want it to be as level as possible and just have a nice sturdy place to secure the trash can hider, and then also be able to roll the trash cans in and out of it easily. That's basically our main plan. And so it worked out okay. It's not, we're not building a house on top of these pavers, and we're not putting anything else except for the trash can hider. So we are definitely taking the easy road out by not doing it as proper, as it could be. But we're shoveling out as much of the loose rocks as we can, making sure that we have enough blocks. And we are going to be putting new fresh rocks over these red rocks when we get them out. Why rocks around the pool? It's just a little bit better because the black mulch or any kind of like mulching that we would do would, you know, with a good wind would get all in the pool and make a huge mess. So I love like fresh black mulch. So we compromised and we have the black mulch in this kind of flower bed to the right that we did a couple years ago. And we've been replacing all of the red rocks around the pool area with lighter color rocks. And like I said, this is the last area, and I debated whether or not we should do mulch here, but since this is kind of connected to the rocks on the other side of the fence, the best way would be to dig these rocks out and put fresh white pebble pea gravel to match. And I am also creating a almost like a divot around where the sidewalk is. That way when we do put rocks in there, it'll be below the level of the sidewalk so that it won't, you know, spread all over the sidewalk. I do have some of that rock glue still, so I don't show it in this video, but I will probably go around and kind of spray in a couple areas just to kind of keep the rocks where they're needed. And all that works, so we could put the garbage can holder there. It looks pretty nice. We put a little pathway. We do need to redo that little like walkway to the pad because everything looks crooked. I guess the camera was crooked, but it is straight and level. We made sure to bring out the level and made sure to be able to roll the trash can in and out, and it works pretty well. Thank you to Aper Iridescence for sponsoring today's video. They have sent me their smart sprinkler, which is the world's first sprinkler that simulates natural rainfall with their even rain technology. It has incredibly fast and easy setup, no need to hire professionals to install plumbing or anything like that. It's pretty much plug and play. The Aper Iridescence rotates 360 degrees with a coverage of 4,800 square feet, an industry-leading 445 meters squared, which means less water waste and reduced water consumption by up to 40% compared to traditional sprinklers. Everything you need is right in the box, and it has a really easy quick start guide to get you going. And when you install the app, it'll help you decide exactly where you need to place the sprinkler for the ultimate coverage for the area that you're going for. I am aiming for my side yard. We don't have any irrigation in what used to be our pond area or on this side down by the fence. We are going to secure the sprinkler unit to the ground with these screws that were included in the box and the little tool. We're going to connect the water and the power, and then we are going to download the app and get started on exactly where we're going to be watering. Once we had everything hooked up, we connected via the Bluetooth in the app so we could set up the Aper Iridescence, and then we were able to pinpoint exactly what plants we wanted to hit. So we were able to directly get each of these 3 plants over here, and then we were able to rotate over, and we were able to cover the entire flower bed with the magnolia tree and everything in it. So it was really, really neat to be able to actually pinpoint each plant that we wanted to hit. And the neat thing about the app is you can personalize a watering schedule to fit your needs, and you can customize water zones as well. So if you only need a certain plant to get a little bit more water, you can pinpoint that plant in that zone to get more water, or schedule it for more days of the week. And another thing is, it's also like you can move the system. So if this area is good and I'm sure it doesn't need everyday watering, and we do a new landscaping area in another area of my yard, I can just pick this up and move it over there and create a whole new area without having to like dig up your whole lawn and just make a mess and spend a ton of money. This is a really nice option as well for renters. I am really, really happy with this, and I'm so excited that this area gets some daily watering without me having to even think about it. So thank you so much to Aber Irrisense for sending me this beautiful smart irrigation system. If you are in the market for one yourself, I will have all the links in the description box below. And thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. Oh no, we're back to everything having red rocks and planting all the new bushes. I'm sorry. Sometimes we have to insert sponsorships earlier in the video. So we're just going to go back in time. Woo! Do like the Wayne's World, like woo! We're going to go back in time and we are going to shovel more red rocks and plant 3 new bushes along the fence line. I'm really excited about this because we've had no landscaping in this area for 5 years. It's just kind of been a desert of red rocks over here. Luckily, no weeds or anything really grow in this area. So, you know, I'm just really excited, and it's been a long time coming. I ended up with 3 bushes in front of the little fence area here. We opted not to put one to block the air conditioning unit because we are going to be replacing those at some point. My husband says he's going to replace it every year, and every year he manages to limp it along. So we'll see, but we wanted to keep that area open, and it was a good spot to put the new irrigation in there. But I am just trying to dig up any of the like loose stones off the top. That way we can just have a nice, like, cleaner foundation for the new rocks. And I just got the same tree bush that we had planted into other areas in the backyard just to kind of tie everything together in the back. And these guys should get about as tall as the fence and as wide as each section. So it's not going to be too overbearing in this area, but it'll be a nice screen for the pool area and just, I don't know, some blocking of road noise, and just, I don't know, just a little bit of privacy in the pool area. It was a hot one out there. Luckily, like I said, Gabriel was hanging out with Malcolm in the pool and they were staying cool, and we were working our butts off trying to get this done before the hottest time of the day. And here is a picture of the plant pot just so you could see what I am planting, and I think these will look really nice. But now it is time. I think he said he got 47 bags of rocks, and in the past we've gotten truckloads or trailer loads of rocks and mulch and stuff, but I don't know, when it comes to rocks it's a little bit easier just to move bags around to where we need, and then we cut the bags and just dump versus having to go back and forth with a single shovel and dump rocks everywhere. So that's our thinking. It costs maybe a little bit more to do the bags, but it's a little bit more for our convenience. And of course we bought these from our local hardware store. I would totally shout them out and like give them promotion, but it's too close to home, and I just am very kind of trying to keep my privacy with exactly where we live, and we live in such a small town that I don't want to shout them out and therefore give away my whole address. Of course, I have my little helper coming over to help and step on all the rocks. And already I can just tell you it looks so much better with the lighter rocks than the red rock. The thing about me is as long as I'm like standing up and moving, I can keep going. But right here, I end up sitting down and I hit a little bit of a wall because I sat down. Once I stop physically moving, it's harder to get the gumption to keep on going. But I get a second wind and we power through, at least do half of the yard. Then I got the brilliant idea to bring out the rake, and that helped out a ton because it was just easier to kind of rake it even than get down there with my hands and knees. But once you have bigger, wider spaces, it's easier just to dump and rake. And here's how we left off for the evening. I am obsessed. The next day, we're going to work on just this tiny little area over here, and here we are. Next day, I am just going around and pulling some weeds and moving that little flower pot. We were trying to decide if we were going to pull up the rocks. The rocks are the stepping stones to where our retractable hose is. These are pretty like set in there, and we like that. When we remove the other rocks to place on top of the other rocks, they haven't settled yet, and these have been settled for what, like 20 years. So I've decided to just pull out any big rocks that were in between the stepping stones and just kind of leave them as is, and then we'll fill it over with the white stone. So this was kind of a tedious project all on its own, trying to figure out I had to get some padding for my knees, trying to figure out the best way to do this. And once again, it is seriously super hot out. So my husband was trying to take little breaks, and I'm sitting there trying to just do the best I can, trying to get out the big clumps of rocks where we can, and just to kind of make it look a little bit more level. Really, this was really important, honestly. This made the biggest difference, getting rid of as much of the loose rocks as possible. Teamwork makes the dream work. This is why we haven't done anything over here, because it was so hot and it was so tedious and it was so just brutal. We should have done this in the spring, but here we are. We have our door that we're going to be getting replaced in a couple weeks, and we just want to make sure it looks really, really nice over here. So when we have the new door installed and everything, it's just going to look so like brand new. So I'm going to rake the pea gravel. It is the same color. It's just we'll have to rinse everything off. But I'm going to rake the pea gravel over the stepping stones, and it'll get into all of the crevices. And then I'm going to go with a deck brush and brush it all off. And then eventually we're going to go back with the rock glue and just make sure everything is secure as possible. Also, the sand in the bags of rocks will get in all of the cracks and crevices, and it's going to end up looking really, really nice. And here it is, all washed off. I didn't show me spraying everything with a hose, but I'm obsessed. Our trash cans are no longer out front and center, even though I'm assuming you guys know trash cans are there, and you're ever gonna know trash cans are there, but it just looks neater, it just looks nicer. Here's our nice looking irrigation, our new landscaping, everything matches. I am just so happy with how it all turned out.